Yo, welcome everyone back into Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto. So it's been kind of a wild last few weeks and I have not uploaded a video. I'll get into that later on in the video at the end of it if you guys are interested. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be back here. Remember to hit the like button. Remember to subscribe if you're new to the show. And continue to share the channel so we can continue to grow and get you guys really valuable content. The more of you guys that tune in, the more it shows that y'all care about this and want to keep the show alive and around. So I know I would like to have it around for a long time and continue to provide you guys the experience that I might have had over the years as we cover the various new topics and discussing how those affected me and everything else. But yeah, it's been a while. Hope you guys are doing great. Today's a special day. Today is the day before the Bitcoin Halvening 2024. So hopefully you've grabbed yourself a nice beverage, a nice seat, or maybe you're laying, or maybe you like to stand. Whatever you do, you. And we are about to get started with our video today. Let's make sure everything is good. Let's make sure that everyone's live. Is everything, can you guys see everything? Hopefully everything is good. Okay. Let's go ahead and start off with CoinGecko, as we often do here, with Bitcoin currently up 3.5%. It's at $63,470. You can see here over the last 7 days, it's down 9.6%. If you've been at all tuned into what's been going on with these markets, oh no, it looks like the chat is not up. That's what's going on here. We lost the chat. Let's see if we can fix that. All right, that should do it. If you've been paying attention, you saw this huge drop that happened when it started when there were threats of missile attacks from Iran to Israel. You saw the price get battered. Then you saw the Federal Reserve Chairman come out and give comments talking about how inflation remains high. Labor, God forbid people are employed. We can't allow that to continue for very long. So they want to see employment come down. They want to see interest rates elevated at the level that they're at until we see a noticeable impact on inflation, which has not been determined just yet. So that means that you're seeing risk assets get hit. So you saw Bitcoin drop and plummet quite a bit. Still, it's not too crazy when you're considering that we usually have about a 30% drop multiple times during a bull market for Bitcoin, and sometimes stronger for depending which altcoin you're holding. You're going to see more blood there. So that's the case with most altcoins. You can see Ethereum down 12.6% over the last 7 days at $3,066, and you have Solana also down a 17.9% clip as well. Overall, we have the market cap at 2.423 trillion, up 2.7%. So yeah, you saw Bitcoin get slammed down below $60,000. It managed to hold a crucial, what many are pointing at as a crucial level, which is $59,000 for Bitcoin, and it bounced off of there and went actually to reach as high as $64,000 before giving back some, and today gaining back some. So we're seeing more volatility to the downside. Really, I think a healthy correction. It's been relentless months of bull pressure, so it's nice to see it let up just a little bit, let things vent. And yeah, are we seeing something brand new? We're seeing right now that Bitcoin has hit an all-time high prior to the halvening, something that has not happened before. So this could be a signal of maybe stronger strength relative to other halvenings throughout the next months that are coming up, the next year basically, where Bitcoin could outperform because of this boost that we're seeing, inflows from these ETFs and the like. On the other hand, you could see concern around maybe a sell the news event, the impact that this could have on miners. They're going to have block rewards cut in half and what kind of troubles they may be facing. So we're going to look at that in a minute. But yeah, here we are. It is still special. It's still a special day. Bitcoin halving countdown. 1 day left, 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 25 seconds. It's expected to happen tomorrow. It's going to be taking the reward down from 6.25 Bitcoin that are given out about every 10 minutes or every time that a block is mined. And that is going to be going down to 3.125 Bitcoin. I believe when I got involved, we were still sitting around, I think 25 or maybe 12.5 Bitcoin that were giving out. I don't remember exactly. That was back in 2015. We were waiting for the big 2016 halving, and it was a great time to start the show. It was great to start talking about how to get involved when Bitcoin was around $250, ETH was around $10. We saw the halving coming up, and we had seen what kind of impact the halving had had in the past. And indeed, it happened again, rocketed up, and continues to happen. We saw similar, well, quite huge gains in 2020 as well. 2020, 2021, that was DeFi, that was NFTs. 2017, 2016 was more like ICOs, but we'll see what the real big flavor is for this one. But we have just one day left for the big halving countdown. It's getting harder and harder for the average person to mine. You basically are seeing more of a consolidation. That's where you're having different entities talk about in these mining interests, these mining powers, because they have to be like bleeding edge profitable, right? Cut all margins, make sure to get the lowest cost electricity and so on. And you're likely to see this. This is something that JP Morgan is expecting. They've announced actually that they're thinking there could be a drop here from where we're at compared to their volatility adjusted comparison with gold. It could be possible that they see the cryptocurrency Bitcoin drop down to $45,000. And I think most notable here, I'm not exactly sure how they got this, but this is on CoinDesk. They said the projected production cost of one Bitcoin, right, is $42,000. So we're sitting over the cost to produce a Bitcoin. So you're still seeing that there is profitability for the miners, even though we're seeing the block reward cut in half and we're not seeing prices double, maybe yet. It's still the case that they could be profitable through this period. Post-halving event, it also is likely that some Bitcoin mining firms may look to diversify into low energy cost regions such as Latin America or Africa to diversify their inefficient mining rigs to gain salvage values from those rigs, which would otherwise sit idle. I'm hearing about how they might go to low energy places as well, like Texas. The thing is that you have more and more entities moving to Texas. You have no corporate tax. You're talking about low power rates. So it's getting harder and harder to accrue the space to be able to do this here in Texas. Bitwise's spot Bitcoin ETF over this last week registered its first daily outflow as negative streak continues, it talks about here. So the historical daily average inflows for BlackRock's IBIT ETF was a daily average of around $230 million in inflow. What date is this? This looks like, yeah, it's today. So today registered net inflows of average 18.1 million, or it averaged, rather it brought in $18.1 million yesterday on April 17th. So that's a far cry, right? From 230 million, you're seeing it down to $18.1 million. Granted, a lot of this, of course, is because you're seeing this price reversal and you see that interest in getting into Bitcoin drops and the price is dropping for the most part. So not really a huge surprise. It's not like you're seeing all the Bitcoin ETFs having net outflows. You're only seeing that with BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, and Valkyrie. So you can actually go to coinglass.com/Bitcoin-ETF and you're able to pull this up. You'll see the asset inflows and outflows. And today, you're actually seeing IBIT in the green here, where they have more inflows. And it's quite balanced across the board here. So I think it's just going to take a while for these markets to get their footing and learn how to deal with this kind of volatility and so on. But not a huge surprise here. What is interesting is that you're just seeing less available liquidity for Bitcoin out there. I'm hearing about less, we'll look at that in a minute, less and less of the supply being available on exchanges, potentially even dropping. Supply completely available on exchanges, according to Bybit, within 9 months because of this demand from ETFs adding to the reserve and the 50% supply issuance reduction that's coming with this halvening that is happening tomorrow. And yeah, there's still those parties out there that have a certain waiting period before they can offer these ETFs for clients. 3-4 months, it really depends on that particular entity. Another thing that happened this week that I think is important to mention is that the DeFi sector came under scrutiny. Well, rather one major player, probably the biggest player in the decentralized finance game, and that is Uniswap. So the SEC sent Uniswap a Wells notice. So a Wells notice is like they're advising, hey, we're going to sue you, right? This is like your chance to send as much documents and stuff to let us know, like, hey, we're not worthy of suing. We did the right thing. But it does seem like the SEC is getting ready to move in here on Uniswap for not registering as a securities token provider. But this is something that operates automated for the most part, open source. There's a front end, for Uniswap, like a website, but you can just interact with the smart contract to get some sort of trade to happen without any sort of centralized intermediary. Even if they get sued, that doesn't mean that the contracts are going to be taken down. Although we do have to wonder, if Uniswap loses this, how that could impact their front end and availability, at least here in the United States, for people to be able to access things through there. But I digress. Uniswap is going to be taking it to them. They're not just going to relent, surely, and just give up. And surely they think they're doing the right thing, since they are based in New York, which is one of the most strict places when it comes to not just finance generally, but cryptocurrency overall. Quite strict there in New York City. People close to Uniswap's labs told Fortune that the company is prepared to offer a worthy fight in court, and claimed the company's legitimacy is reflected in the fact that it's chosen to operate in broad daylight in New York City rather than offshore at night. So yeah, I did wanted to give you a heads up on that. And immediately afterwards, like the day afterward, Uniswap secretly increased the price for swaps that happen on the platform. So the fees are now going up to 0.25% for every trade that takes place on this automated market maker. And that is up from 0.15%. Somebody had archived their old fees here, so you can see the new fee right there. Tokens are subject to fees only when traded through Uniswap Labs interfaces on mainnet and supported L2s. So it looks like through the smart contract itself, you will not be paying those fees, but through their interfaces, front ends, you are going to be paying that. And likely this is going to help and shore up some cash in order for this legal fight. Coinbase has been dealing with a legal fight with the SEC for some time. This is likely to be a drawn-out battle that's going to be quite costly. So this increase, for the most part, even though it was done under the cover of night, it wasn't really talked about on social media by Uniswap themselves. People started to notice this fee increase, but it still was something that the community got behind and understood in order to set precedent here for what these platforms, how they operate, how they can exist, and what what kind of litigation they may be facing or may not be facing in the future. So despite this, you saw that Uniswap volume ballooned still. It continues to balloon. Volumes approach $3 billion despite that Wells notice. Crossed $2 trillion in total trading volume on April 5th. That's insane. $2 trillion. And daily volumes climbed over the weekend, hitting the $3 billion threshold. So you can't stop it just like that. From my understanding, the token price for Uni also came down from $11 after the news, down to just about $9. I believe it's bounced back. Now let's go check. Actually, we can pull it up. Why not? It's up 6% today, and it's sitting. Oh no, it's down. It's been down quite a bit over the last week. So it's at $7.30. So it's taken quite a hit, no doubt. Coinbase released a Bitcoin halving commercial. So I'll let you guys check it out for yourselves. And I may be demonetized for playing, copyright music. I guess we'll find out after this video, but enjoy if you haven't checked it out.
Over time, your money gets you less. Does Bitcoin? Well, in 2012, one Bitcoin bought you this much pizza. In 2016, this much pizza. In 2020, this much pizza. And in 2024, well, you get the gist. Roughly every 4 years, the future supply of Bitcoin is reduced. So historically, you get more, not less. Over time, your money gets you less.
There we go.
Does Bitcoin? Well,
and surely that's of course, a reference to Laszlo Haniek, I believe his name is, and he's the guy who got the first Bitcoin transaction, right? He wanted to pay for something in Bitcoin, so he found someone online to accept Bitcoin, to place the order for him to get the pizza delivered, and people like to point at him and talk about how much money he would have if he hadn't spent it on Bitcoin. But he does seem to have some Bitcoin still. He was an early entrant, and he has seemed quite happy in pictures that I've shown recently. But interesting to see a company here put out a halving commercial, and surely it's going to stimulate some people to get interested in this Bitcoin thing, and they're going to be like, hey, maybe I heard about Coinbase. Maybe they'll check out Coinbase and check out some other educational tools and get more interested. And it's always nice to see this happen, these opportunities, when the prices are low, right? The opportunity to learn, get educated, to consider allocating some sort of space in your portfolio. No better time when the prices are down, especially if you're a believer that the halvening will again prove true and bring us great wealth and riches before a big crash and burn. But likely we're going to see a lot more scammers come out, and there'll be hallmark signs, right? People are talking about like Ty Lopez coming out and making videos, although I believe he did put out something recently, so maybe we are getting to that point, right? So the mining CEOs for Bitcoin apparently remain upbeat, despite the cut in revenues that are expected to happen right now. So I mean, they have reasons to believe that they're going to have more efficiency with their miners. For example, it talks about how they're integrating AI into new mining ASIC, these application-specific chips that are really good at mining Bitcoin. They're using AI to develop these new chips. It speaks about right here to reduce these ASIC chip costs. And so far, it seems like it's going to be all right. We'll see what kind of consolidation happens. But of course, this is something that's kind of bad, really, when you're seeing less miners able to validate transactions when it comes to censorship, being able to have your transactions, regardless of who you are, happen within a timely period, and so on. So the halvening is kind of a good thing sometimes for the price, but it's arguably and debatably a bad thing when it comes to decentralization, because of how difficult it can be to become profitable to mine Bitcoin. I mean, as soon as I got involved, it was already unprofitable to mine Bitcoin for the most part using a GPU. ASICs were already blowing up at that point. That's why I became quite interested in Ethereum as well as an alternative to that, and still have proof of work. Now we just got proof of stake with Ethereum, so I don't know, maybe I'll have maybe I'll have to find a new proof of work coin to mine. Are y'all guys mining some proof of work coins, mining some Monero out there or something else? I'd be interested to know what you're into if you're still mining. Surely you're not mining Bitcoin, but if you are, you're probably doing well and have large facilities, you know what I'm saying? Bored Ape, so NFTs are down quite a bit as well. This one to me is quite striking, since Bored Ape Yacht Club apes have been one of the most popular non-fungible tokens out there. This collection that has been touted by celebrities, and eventually celebrities were sued for touting it without talking about how they were being paid on the back end by Yuga Labs and so on. Just a lot of drama around this. But, I mean, you're probably pretty disappointed if you bought Bitcoin. I mean, if you bought these Bored Ape NFTs around the old price floor, which is the price that you can get these NFTs, the cheapest NFT that you can buy of one of these. And the floor price used to be, it looks like on April 2022, 128 ETH, or about $395,000 for the cheapest one. And now the cheapest one has gone down to 10.9 ETH, or about $34,000. So quite a disappointing performance here, especially if we are in these throes of a bull market here. These NFTs are not keeping pace here. Frankly, it's something that I had expected and that I had talked about in the past. Overhyped for sure. That's something that a lot of people said about NFTs. To me, it was insane to see the mainstream appeal actually happen with these things, considering how technically difficult they can be to acquire. But you saw these things become easier to acquire, and eventually just many become straight up scams and leaving a sour taste in people's mouths. I still think we're trying to settle where NFTs are going to be lying as part of some sort of allocation, somebody's portfolio, something more risky, something for people who do like to collect. I think we're still trying to figure that out for the most part. And so it was a risky play, right, getting into there. And many people did make profits as well, at the behest of many others as well. This money didn't come from nowhere, that some people did take profits on. And some people still continue to hold on, right? And then I just wanted to share this video with you because I thought it was pretty funny as we go out here on a light note. Only a poop coiner would do this. Yeah!
We've gone from genius Alex to offensive billionaire. Apologies. Thank you.
I mean, that guy was so relaxed. I mean, it was a miracle that any sort of utterance came out of him. And yeah, I have to wonder, right? Do they carry him to the toilet? Do they wipe him? Like, is this how he's wasting his money? You do you, man. That's where all that Bored Ape money went to make this bloke happy. And for the record, I have actually no idea who this is. I didn't record this myself. Just found it on Twitter and thought it was pretty funny. Some lighthearted fun. So yeah, why I haven't done a video last 2 weeks? It's been another trying, kind of somewhat stressful period. Survived a car accident, and unfortunately, that's the end of this baby. This is the baby that we used to do so many videos in, and I have to bid it goodbye. I got this in 2017, and I was like, damn, I really want a Corvette with how crazy crypto was doing at the time, but I decided to settle for a Mustang that was used, and instead of buying it outright, I pained my way through payments, finally got it paid off, and put so much money into fixing it. It was a rental and destroyed. That's the end of it. Someone ran a green yield and banged into the driver's side. My door couldn't even open. I bought my head on something, but I seem to be all right. Maybe I've lost some IQ points. I don't know. But her car did not do so well. My car was completely totaled. Had to get a new one. Look at Janelle there on the right. Look at Elle. And then that was the other person's car. Oh, luckily everyone seemed to be fine. We had all our limbs. We were all right. But it's a kind of sad ending to a beloved car that we did so many videos in. And while people thought I was going to finally succumb to a car crash during a video, it happened offshoot. And all of the time that we spent making those videos, not one accident. Brah, get on my level. I was always super careful, by the way, when driving around. Anyway, I'll leave you guys with the quote of the day. I hope you're doing super well, and just take care. You know, it's like a moment when you face your mortality. You think about how there was nothing I could do in that moment to escape that, and it could have very well been in the end. And if I had some pets in there, they could have passed away. And like the airbags didn't even deploy, which is insane. I'll leave you guys with that. Just remember to cherish every moment. And I know I cherish the moments that I can spend here with you guys going over everything and cataloging this wonderful history of crypto that we have gotten the pleasure to partake in together. So here's our quote of the day, guys. Oh, wind, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? By Percy Bysshe Shelley. Yeah, I know it's kind of grim. This is kind of like bear market stuff, but I think a bear market will hit us like sooner or later. So let's stay humble, guys, and our heads on our shoulders when the good times come. Take care, everyone. Much love and stay cryptic. Appreciate you. Peace.